What's going on, people? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. So, guys, Jermell Charlo has called out Canelo Alvarez. He says, I want that smoke. I want that smoke with Canelo Alvarez. I want that smoke. I don't know what you guys make of Jermell saying that he wants that smoke with Canelo. I like Jermell. I think he's taken the tougher route out of the two brothers. I think Jermell is looking to become undisputed. I think Jermell Charlo, for me, should be on the pound-for-pound list. I think Jermell Charlo is a really good fighter. I like his spite. He's an angry man. He's an angry young man. You know, he's angry. He's always seems very angry. He seems aggressive to me. He seems a brute, you know. Jermell Charlo. I'm gonna get his interview up for you guys, and then read it out for you. But yeah, Jermell seems a very young, hungry guy. He wants all that smoke. He wants all that smoke. And listen, I do feel that if there's anyone deserving of a Canelo fight, it's him, especially if he becomes undisputed. And I think the weight's going to be a bit of an issue, though. You know, how's he going to fight? How's he going to fight? He's at 154. But, you know, out of all those guys that I mentioned, all these guys chasing Canelo Alvarez, that dude, Jermell, if he becomes undisputed at 154, he deserves that. He deserves that smoke. He deserves that smoke. I'm going to read out what Jermell had to say. You know, and I don't want any of you guys to say, no, he deserves it more than Benavidez, more than Charlo, Jermell, and more than all of those guys, because let's be brutally honest, he's put in that work. Jermell's put in that work, yeah? He's put in that work, and to be honest, he's fighting everybody. He's fighting everybody, you know, at his weight class. So I like that. You know that I like fighters that put it on the line. I like fighters that fight the best. So Jermell Charlo says this: come see me. I want that smoke. I want it all, baby. You know, Jermell being Jermell, he goes, you got Andrade. He don't know what he wants to do with his life. We can't even count on Andrade to accept a fight. So we don't even care about him. You make me tell my brother to call out some of those guys that Canelo is calling out. Knock them off. If you knock them off, then he has no other choice but to say, let's go on and accept that $100 million. I heard that's what it was. I can't confirm anything. Canelo, you're a stud. A little short, 5'8", mother bleep. You go hard. But let's see. We're here to fight for our families. If you beat me, you're better than me. Cool. Can we prove that? Now, there's a reason why. And I don't know what their reason why they're making their decision. How about they split the same contract with the other guys? Be your free agent that you are. Accept a one-fight deal. And go and move on with your life, because you never know what's next. Why do you want to accept 10 fights, 5 fights, and 4 fights? You're already the kind of your division. You're the undisputed champion where you're at and where I'm trying to become. When I come that way, I'm accepting that same money for a one-fight deal. They can do that possibly, and I ain't trying to make nobody else pay no extra money. But I believe that if my brother wants that fight like he said, what do my brother need to do? Go out on Instagram talking stupid to the Canelo fans? Canelo, you got a lot of fans, and we love the fan base you got. You're a red-headed... you're a red-headed bleep. You'll be knocking MFs out. Now do you retire or take one of the toughest fights of your career against a young African-American stud who has been working his you-know-what off since he was 8 years of age. Do my brother put it all on the line? Said Jermell. So there you go. There you have it. Jermell Charlo calling Canelo a stud. Saying, Canelo, you're the real deal, but so are we. You know, oh, man, Jermell Charlo, these guys, Jermell Charlo's funny, man. Sometimes I don't even understand, like, some of the stuff that he was saying, to be honest. Like, he was saying some stuff here. He's like, you make me tell my brother to call out some of those guys that Canelo is calling out, knock them off. If you knock them off, then he has no other choice but to say, let's go and accept that 100 million. I heard that's what it was. I don't even understand sometimes what these are. Sometimes they come from weird angles. I don't really understand. But, you know, what he's saying there, that, look, we understand that Canelo's a great fighter. We respect him, but I want that smoke. I don't know if he was even talking for his brother. He was talking for himself. I didn't understand. I didn't understand the interview. I didn't understand what he was saying. At the top, he said, I want that smoke. So I'm assuming he wants to fight. Then he starts talking about his brother. You know, very, very emotional, Jermell, but a very good fighter. You know, sometimes that emotion can play for and against you. I think for Jermell, Jermell needs to keep a more cooler head, because he's a guy that is aggressive and a guy that, I won't say he lacks boxing ability, but I don't think he's the most skilled guy. I think he's a guy that likes to be aggressive. I think he's got to be more calm and look to pick his shots. If he's aggressive, he's going to be more wild like he was against Harrison. The second time, he was a lot better. He was able to pick his shots and he got Harrison out of there. So Jermell needs to come with a more cool, relaxed approach into a fight, and I think he'll be a lot more dangerous. Now, against Canelo, you know, it'd be a bad move, because I don't think Jermell has... I think Jermell's an explosive fighter, but I don't think he has the power to trouble Canelo. And Canelo, as you know, has the power to trouble anybody. And Jermell is obviously at 154. And Canelo's boxing IQ, boxing ability is on another level at this point. So that would be a very, very hard fight for Jermell. But what I would say is, if there's anyone out of the Benavidez, Jermall, all of those guys deserve it. If this guy becomes undisputed, I feel he deserves it, and he should be rewarded with a fight like that, because becoming undisputed is no small thing. And to be honest with you, Jermell's had some ups and downs in his career, and he's come back. He had the Tony Harrison defeat. He came back and knocked him out. I just like what this guy's about. I think he'll fight anybody and everybody. Look, a lot of people and a lot of you said that he won't go anywhere near Castano, and look, he went straight back to Castano. You know, Jermell, he's a proper fighter. He's a proper fighter's fighter, and I think he deserves a Canelo fight down the road. If obviously depending on what weight class. Obviously at the minute they're 4 weight classes apart. You know, 154, 160, 168, 175 is 4 weight classes above. So I definitely think if Jermell can make 168, I definitely think that's a fight. You know, it's a good fight as well. Both the Charlos are massive, so you know 168 wouldn't be a problem, but to jump to 168 straight away would be crazy. So I don't know if that fight is practical. I don't know if that fight can happen. But I would like to see it without question. I think Jermell Charlo is a very, very good fight. I like his style. I like his approach. I think Jermall might be a bit more technically sound. I think Jermell's more aggressive. He hits harder. But yeah, man, you know, like I like this Charlo. I like Jermell Charlo. I think I like the competitive nature of Charlo, and the fact that even though, like, I thought, you know, Castano beat him the first time, the fact that he's willing to go back into the fight. Did Jermell have another fight? Or was this straight after that? When did he fight Castano? I can't remember. But I feel this is his next. I think he fought Castano. I think this is his next fight after the Castano fight. So again, he's jumping right back into the fire. You have to respect that. He did it exactly this. He did that with Harrison as well. He jumped right back into the fight and he put that wrong. And I think he'll do it again because I feel like this guy's hungry, man. He wants to prove he's the best. And I like that about this Charlo, you know. And I think just by his actions, just by his moves, even though like a lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to duck, he's going to avoid, he ain't going to go anywhere near Castano. He's jumping right back into it. So, you know, and to be honest, if I'm not mistaken, the fight probably would have happened if Castano didn't get injured. Wasn't that fight meant to happen in February? I think it was meant to happen in February, but I think Castano got injured. He had a bicep injury. So, yeah, just Charlo, if he becomes undisputed, I definitely think he deserves a fight with Canelo. Because for me, like, a lot of these guys ain't earning fights with Canelo. fair enough, if Canelo picks you, he picks you. But this guy is going to become undisputed, and I respect that. I respect that. I think Jermell, for me, deserves a crack at Canelo down the road, just if he becomes undisputed, for sure. Because that's some achievement, to become undisputed. Like, for me, Jermell, and people may disagree, I feel like when you become undisputed, because there's sort of thing, depending on who you're fighting, and listen, Castano's a good fighter. So is Tony Harrison. You know, he's fought some good fighters, Jermell has. Depending on what he does. I definitely think that Jermell, if he has another few good wins at 160, I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer without question. I like this guy. I think this guy's a good fighter. I think you've got to respect. I respect him. I really like this Charlo. Even though sometimes he can come, like, sometimes I don't understand, like, I don't understand what he's saying. He comes across like very emotional, very aggressive. But I like the competitive edge that he's got. I like the competitive nature of the man. And I think he's a very good fighter. So I really hope he gets a Canelo fight. And, you know, the thing is with Jermell, he's quite respectful of Canelo as well. He understands he's a really good fighter, and he respects him. But, you know, he also wants that smoke. He wants to prove that he's top dog. So I like this guy, man. I really like this guy. I think this guy's got that competitive edge. We need more fighters like this in boxing that are willing to take on the best, even though he's vulnerable. He can be outboxed. You know, he's not you know, like a monster like Canelo, but he's got that competitive edge, and he wants to prove himself. He's hungry. He wants to keep improving. He's not willing to jump into fights, even though, you know, that guy's like Harrison beat him. Then he jumped straight back onto the ship and got better, worked on his flaws, came back, and people say, oh, well, no. But the fact is, people said, oh, well, he didn't look much different. No, but he landed that shot and knocked him out. You got to respect that. And if he does the same with Castano, then we're looking at a guy that even though he's willing, even though he might not have great performances, he's willing to go jump right back in there. That must be respected. You've got to understand that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do. When someone gets beat or someone gets, you know, they get outboxed, to jump back in there and then beat the guy, you know, I think that deserves a lot of respect. And I personally think Castano won the first fight. The second fight, however, I think Charlo might make it. I think he might stop Castano. I'd love to know your guys' opinion. Who do you think wins against Charlo v Castano? But one thing I will say, I think this Jermell Charlo, if he becomes undisputed, I definitely would like to see a fight with him. I feel like he would deserve a Canelo fight, because that achievement is very big in boxing. I know it's at the lower weight class, but becoming an undisputed champion is no joke. And you know what? This guy's done it the hard way, and he's fought some good fighters. Harrison's a good fighter. I believe he fought Julian Williams, is a very good fighter. And now he's fighting Brian Castano, who's a very good fighter as well. So this guy, you know, this guy's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, top fighter. And hopefully down the road, we might even see him against Canelo Alvarez. But what do you guys think? Is it a fight that you want to see, or you're like, nah, I'm not that interested? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.